Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's science class. So, in the last class, we have completed the explanation part of lesson 5, and therefore, today I will be starting chapter 6, that is water storage and quality. I'll also be sharing the question answers of the workbook questions in today's class. So, please write it down. That will be a PDF file, and then you can submit it in the Google Classroom. So let's begin today's class. So water storage and quality. So in this chapter mainly we are going to study this 4 key points, which are water storage system, where we'll be studying about old ways of storing water and also the new water or modern water storage system. Then we'll also study about water purification methods. Then of course we'll study about the factors that pollute water, and that will come in the topic water pollution. And then we'll also study its harmful effects, so effects of water pollution. So these are some key topics which we will be covering in this chapter. So now let us just have a brief introduction of this chapter, and we'll also try to cover the first part, that is water storage system. So let's start. So first of all, let us know why is water important to us. So let's see why water is important to us. Importance of water. Why is water important? Water is one of the most important substances required to live on earth. So as we all know, without water no one can survive, not a single organism can survive. So water is one of the most important substances required to live on earth. Our mother earth will not exist without water. So there will be no existence of our planet earth. Then water is used in day-to-day life for many purposes other than drinking. So we all know water is required for many other purposes other than drinking, such as bathing, washing clothes, then cooking food. So there are many other uses of water. So we can't imagine a single day without water. So without water we human beings will die. So not only we human beings, but all other animals will also die, because water is very important for us. So this is why we need to conserve water. We need to protect water. We should not waste water. So now let us see how in older days the water used to be stored. So let's see. Now before that, let's read this small section which is there in your textbook. I think so. Amit's class teacher told the students that the class would be visiting the nearby dam the next day. She also said that the entire city got its drinking water from the dam's reservoir. So from where does the dam get the water in its reservoir? So Amit's class teacher told the students that they are going to visit a nearby dam next day. Then she also said the importance of that dam, because the entire city got the drinking water from that dam's reservoir. So now the question arises, from where the water comes in the reservoir. So let's see. So I remember part. We have learned that rain is the main source of water, but the rainy season in India lasts for 3 to 4 months only, and we need water throughout the year. So we need to store it for later use. So how do we do that? So now we got some idea from where the dam or the reservoir gets the water. We know the rainy season occurs for around 3 to 4 months, and then the water which comes through the rain can be stored, and that water only is stored in this reservoir. So we need these reservoirs to store the rainwater. Now let us learn about the storage of water in detail. So as I said, we are going to study about two types of water storage system. One is the old ways or the old water storage systems, and also the modern way or the new water storage system. So let us first discuss about old water storage system. So here we have three different ways of storing water during which comes under the old water storage system. these are wells, water tanks in the forts and river bunds. So water wells, we are all familiar with this because even now in villages we see different types of well. We can say here the step well, then here the drawing well, we draw water from the well. So this is most commonly seen in villages. And so people dug wells to store groundwater. Now groundwater means the rainwater which seeps into the ground. The wells were of different types. Where the wells were shallow, people could draw water with a pot held in hand. Some were deep and needed steps or a bucket with a rope to draw water. Now there were certain wells which are not that deep. People could easily take out with their hand, with a pot in the hand, and then they could easily take the water. But at the same time, there are many wells, which is generally the case, are quite deep. So for that we need to tie a rope with the bucket, and then we have to draw it uh, from the well. And at the same time, in earlier days there were certain wells where steps were there to go inside deep and then take the water and then come back. So here you can see this is called step well. So wells are both the source of water and the storage system. So they are also what the source of water along with the what place to store water. Then we have water tanks in the forts. So water tanks were dug to store water. So earlier days, king in their rule, they used to, when they were ruling, they used to dug tanks in their forts. So this is water tank in a fort. This is a picture. Then the third one is river bunds. Bunds were built across the rivers to store river water. So also one way to store water is constructing bund across the river. So here you can see just almost similar to those of dams, but these were constructed in the earlier days, river bunds. So this is also part of old water storage system. So now let us move to the new water or modern water storage system. So new water storage system. So dams. So dams are actually the new inventions. This is part of modern water storage system. So dams are the most important water storage systems used in recent times as well as in the days gone by. So dams are walls or barriers built across the river. So like we studied in the previous case here, bund across rivers. So almost we can say that there is a connection of dams with the old water storage systems too, because bund across river, now taking this concept forward, in the modern days dams were being constructed. So this is just a kind of modification of what was there in the old water storage system. So dams are the most important water storage systems used in recent times as well as in the days gone by. Dams are walls or barriers built across the rivers, just like bunds which were built. So some of the reservoirs are, India has many large dams like Vakranangal, Nagarjuna and Sardar Sarovar and so on. So these are some of the dams, well-known dams of India. These are Vakranangal, Nagarjuna and Sardar Sarovar. So these are some of the dams which exist in India. Then bore wells. Bore wells are dug to draw out groundwater using pumps. So they are deeper and narrower than the wells. So they are deeper and also they are quite narrower than the wells. So mainly we need water pumps to draw water from the bore well. Then we have water tanks. Of course, these are quite common to see in the households. So these are some big water tanks used for industries. Then these are common tanks which are seen in the domestic, which is seen in the houses. So they are they are domestic water tanks, and these are some commercial water tanks used for industries. So these are some of the new ways of storing water. So this is all for today, and let's summarize things which we have covered in today's class. So today we have discussed about importance of water. We have discussed about need of water storage system. We have also discussed about old water storage system and then new water storage system. So this is all for today's class. Now please write down the question answers of lesson 5 which I have shared in this class. So that's all. Thank you, my dear students.